Ladies and gentlemen, imagine for a moment the power of your mind. Imagine that everything you've ever achieved, everything you've ever dreamed of, and everything you hope to become begins right here inside your head. The thoughts you entertain, the beliefs you hold, and the focus you choose to give your attention. These are not just fleeting whispers in your mind. They are the architects of your destiny. Today, I want to share with you a truth so powerful that, if embraced, can transform every aspect of your life. You can control your thoughts, and by doing so, you can control your life. Most people live their lives as if their minds are a runaway train. Thoughts pop up like weeds in a garden, and without conscious effort, those weeds overtake everything beautiful and strong. Anxiety, fear, doubt, and negativity grow uncontrollably because we allow them to. But the truth is, you are not a victim of your thoughts. You are the master of them. Every thought you choose to feed, every mental image you allow to linger, either builds you up or tears you down. The first step to transforming your life is awareness. Awareness is the foundation. You must start noticing the thoughts that dominate your mind. Are they thoughts of possibility or limitation? Are they fueling courage or feeding fear? Most people spend their days reacting to thoughts they didn't even choose. They wake up, they scroll social media, they complain, they stress, and all the while their minds are running on autopilot. The problem isn't that you have negative thoughts. It's normal to have them. But the problem is believing them and letting them define your reality. Now, here's the exciting part. Once you become aware of your thoughts, you can take control. You can interrupt the negative patterns and replace them with empowering ones. Every thought you choose to focus on is like planting a seed. Some seeds produce weeds, some seeds produce fruit. And here's the truth. The quality of your life is the quality of your thoughts. If you are surrounded by doubt, worry, or fear, it's not because life is unfair. It's because your mind has been feeding on negativity instead of possibility. But the moment you choose to control your thoughts, everything changes. You start to see opportunity where you once saw obstacles. You start to feel confidence where you once felt fear, and you begin to live a life that others might call extraordinary. So, how do you control your thoughts? It starts with choice. Every single thought is a choice. Yes, thoughts may pop up automatically, but you have the power to decide which ones to entertain, which ones to challenge, and which ones to dismiss. Let me give you an example. When you think, I'm not good enough, ask yourself, is this thought serving me? Does it help me move forward? If the answer is no, replace it immediately with a thought that does serve you. I am capable. I am learning. I am growing every day. This isn't fluff, it's practice. It's the difference between a life filled with struggle and a life filled with unstoppable momentum. Another powerful tool is visualization. Picture the life you want to live. Picture yourself achieving your goals, overcoming obstacles, and becoming the person you aspire to be. Your brain doesn't distinguish between real experiences and vividly imagined experiences. When you focus on positive outcomes, your mind begins to align your actions with those outcomes. You become magnetically drawn towards success because your thoughts are no longer your enemy. They are your ally. But let me be clear. Controlling your thoughts is not about ignoring reality or pretending that challenges don't exist. It's about changing your internal dialogue so that you can face challenges with clarity, strength, and resilience. Life will always throw curveballs. There will be setbacks, disappointments, and failures. But the difference between a life of struggle and a life of triumph is not circumstance, it's mindset. The people who succeed are not smarter or luckier. They are disciplined in managing their thoughts. They focus on solutions, not problems. They see lessons in failure, not excuses. They master their minds, and because of that, they master their lives. Let's talk about emotions for a moment. Emotions are not random. They are the result of your dominant thoughts. If you feel fear, anger, or anxiety, it's because your thoughts are feeding those emotions. If you want to feel peace, confidence, and joy, you must feed your mind with thoughts that generate those emotions. And here's the secret. The more you practice controlling your thoughts, the easier it becomes. It's like lifting weights for your mind. At first, it's challenging, but the more you do it, the stronger you become. Eventually, you can shift from negative to positive almost instantly because your mind becomes trained to focus on what empowers you. Another essential practice is language control. Pay attention to the words you use in your self-talk. The words you speak, even silently, shape your reality. Replace limiting phrases like I can't or I'm stuck with phrases like I'm learning or I choose to move forward. Your brain responds to language. It's wired that way. Speak in a way that strengthens you, not weakens you. Speak in a way that fuels action, not excuses. Speak in a way that honors the life you are capable of creating. Now, let's take it one step further. Controlling your thoughts also means taking ownership of your focus. You get to decide what you pay attention to. You can focus on fear, problems, and limitations, or you can focus on growth, opportunity, and solutions. Where your focus goes, energy flows. If you constantly dwell on what's wrong, you attract more of it. But when you focus on what's right, on what's possible, and on the actions that move you forward, you start creating momentum that compounds day after day, year after year. And here's the final truth I want to leave you with today. You are not your circumstances, and you are not your past. The moment you control your thoughts, you create the future. You step out of the cycle of victimhood and into the cycle of mastery. You choose what to believe, what to focus on, and who you want to become. You take the power that was always yours and use it to transform every area of your life. So I challenge you, starting today, to take control of your thoughts. Start noticing them, questioning them, and consciously choosing the ones that serve your highest purpose. Visualize the life you want, speak in empowering language, focus on solutions, and watch as your life begins to shift. There is no magic, no luck, no secret ingredient, just you, your mind, and the decisions you make every single moment. Your thoughts are the lever, and your life is the machine. Pull the lever, control the machine, and step into the extraordinary life waiting for you. Because when you control your thoughts, you don't just transform your mindset, you transform your entire life. Awareness is the first and most crucial step toward transformation. Without awareness, you are like a ship adrift at sea, tossed by waves you cannot see, unaware of the storms around you, and unable to chart a course toward the destination you desire. Most people go through life on autopilot, unaware of the thoughts that dominate their minds, the beliefs that silently dictate their actions, and the patterns that keep them stuck in the same cycle over and over again. Awareness is the moment you wake up to the reality of your mental environment. It is the instant you realize that your mind is not just a passive observer of life, but the active architect of everything you experience. To change your life, you must first become conscious of the thoughts you are harboring every day. The human mind is incredibly powerful, but it is also deceptive. Thoughts pop up automatically, often without your permission. Some of these thoughts are helpful, guiding you toward growth, opportunity, and solutions. Others are toxic, feeding fear, doubt, anxiety, and limiting beliefs. The challenge is that most people do not notice these thoughts. They accept them as truth without question. They allow negativity to fester in their minds because they are unaware that they have a choice in what to focus on. Awareness gives you that choice. It is like turning on a light in a dark room. Suddenly, you can see the clutter, the obstacles, and the weeds that were hidden in the shadows. Once you see them, you can begin the process of clearing them away and creating a mental environment that supports your goals and dreams. Developing awareness begins with observation. You must start noticing your internal dialogue. What are you telling yourself every morning when you wake up? What are the stories you repeat about who you are, what you deserve, and what is possible for you? Many people carry subconscious beliefs that are decades old, inherited from family, culture, or past experiences, and these beliefs shape their lives without them even realizing it. Awareness allows you to bring these beliefs into the light, examine them, and determine whether they are true or whether they are simply mental patterns that no longer serve you. One of the most effective ways to cultivate awareness is through reflection. Set aside time each day to sit quietly and observe your thoughts without judgment. Notice when negative thoughts arise and pay attention to the triggers that bring them up. Is it a particular person, situation, or memory that sparks doubt or fear? By identifying these triggers, you gain insight into the mechanics of your mind. You begin to see patterns, recurring themes, and habitual ways of thinking that may have gone unnoticed for years. Reflection is not about criticizing yourself. It is about understanding yourself. It is about becoming the observer of your own mind, recognizing the thoughts that serve you, and noticing the ones that hold you back. Journaling is another powerful tool for awareness. Writing down your thoughts allows you to see them objectively, as if you were reading someone else's mind. Often, when thoughts exist only in your head, they feel enormous, overwhelming, and true. But when you write them down, you see them in a different light. You can analyze them, question them, and decide which ones deserve your attention. Journaling creates a space between you and your thoughts, giving you the ability to choose which thoughts to nurture and which thoughts to release. The simple act of putting your mental chatter on paper is like turning a faucet on and seeing where the water flows. It allows you to understand your internal patterns clearly. Awareness is not only about noticing negative thoughts, it is also about recognizing positive ones. Too often, people focus solely on what is wrong or lacking in their lives, ignoring the thoughts that support growth, gratitude, and possibility. By becoming aware of empowering thoughts, you can amplify them and make them dominant in your mind. Positive thoughts are like sunlight for a garden. They help your mind flourish, grow, and produce the results you desire. Awareness allows you to catch yourself when you are slipping into negative thinking and intentionally redirect your focus toward thoughts that strengthen and energize you. One of the key aspects of awareness is emotional awareness. Your emotions are a reflection of your dominant thoughts. If you feel stressed, anxious, or depressed, it is because your mind is filled with thoughts that generate those emotions. By observing your emotions and tracing them back to the thoughts that cause them, you gain incredible insight into your mental state. Awareness allows you to step back and say, I notice this fear. I notice this anger. I notice this doubt. These are not facts. These are thoughts that I can change. Emotional awareness is the bridge between recognizing limiting thoughts and taking deliberate action to replace them with empowering ones. Another dimension of awareness is situational awareness, understanding how your external environment affects your internal state. Certain situations, people, or environments can trigger automatic thought patterns that are either beneficial or detrimental. Becoming aware of these influences allows you to make intentional choices about where you spend your time, who you associate with, and what you expose yourself to mentally. Awareness gives you the power to create a supportive environment that reinforces the thoughts and beliefs you want to cultivate rather than the ones you want to eliminate. Awareness is also about accountability. Once you become aware of your thoughts and the impact they have on your life, you can no longer blame circumstances, other people, or luck for your outcomes. Awareness forces you to take responsibility for your mental state and consequently your results. It is a liberating and empowering moment when you realize that the power to change your life has always been within you. No one can think your thoughts for you, and no one can control your focus unless you allow them to. Awareness is the first step in reclaiming that power and using it to create the life you desire. Mindfulness practices such as meditation, deep breathing, and conscious observation can greatly enhance your awareness. These practices train your mind to pause, notice, and evaluate thoughts before reacting to them. Over time, you build the ability to intercept negative or disempowering thoughts before they take root. Awareness is like a muscle. It strengthens with practice. The more you observe your thoughts and notice your mental patterns, the more control you gain over your mind and the more effective you become at directing your energy toward constructive, empowering thoughts. The power of awareness extends beyond personal growth. It influences every area of your life. In relationships, awareness allows you to notice how your thoughts shape your interactions and communication. In your career, awareness reveals the limiting beliefs that may be holding you back from opportunities and advancement. In health and well-being, awareness helps you recognize the mental habits that affect your physical state. Awareness is not passive. It is an active, intentional, and ongoing practice that forms the foundation for transformation in every aspect of life. Ultimately, awareness is the gateway to choice, freedom, and power. Until you are aware of your thoughts, you cannot change them. Until you observe your beliefs, you cannot challenge them. Until you notice your mental patterns, you cannot take control of your mind. Awareness is the starting point for a life of purpose, intention, and fulfillment. It is the first spark that ignites the fire of transformation, the lens through which you see your true potential, and the tool that allows you to reclaim control over your life. Every thought you have, every belief you hold, and every mental image you entertain carries within it a seed of possibility. And here is the truth that too few people embrace. Every thought is a choice. Yes, your mind may generate ideas automatically, some positive, some negative, but how you respond to them, how you feed them, and how you act on them is entirely up to you. Choice is the ultimate power you possess, and it is the single most decisive factor in creating meaningful change in your life. Most people go through life believing that circumstances control them, that the world dictates their happiness, success, and fulfillment, but nothing could be further from the truth. The moment you understand that your choices, not your circumstances, shape your life, you step into a level of freedom and power that few ever experience. Choice is not always easy. Life bombards you with challenges, setbacks, and situations that can feel overwhelming. In these moments, it is tempting to react impulsively, to let fear or frustration take control, and to allow your thoughts to spiral out of control. But choice exists precisely in those moments. It is the pause, the breath, the awareness that you have more power than you think. When you learn to recognize that you are not merely a passive observer of life, but an active participant, everything shifts. You begin to see that for every thought that arises, you have the ability to either nurture it or release it. You can either entertain negativity or amplify positivity. You can either let doubt dominate or let belief and confidence take the lead. The first step in exercising this power of choice is recognizing the impact of your thoughts on your actions. Every decision you make, every behavior you exhibit, and every response you give is a reflection of what is happening inside your mind. If your thoughts are dominated by fear, hesitation, or self-doubt, your actions will inevitably reflect those limitations. Conversely, if your thoughts are aligned with confidence, determination, and possibility, your actions will mirror that energy, propelling you forward in ways you never thought possible. Choice is the bridge between thought and action. By consciously selecting the thoughts you entertain, you are consciously shaping the life you will live. Consider, for a moment, the moments in your life when you felt truly powerful, inspired, and alive. What were you thinking in those moments? Likely your mind was focused on possibilities, solutions, and growth. You were not fixated on limitations, obstacles, or excuses. Those moments are proof that choice is always present. Even in circumstances that seem dire or overwhelming, you can choose the thought that empowers you. You can choose to see the lesson, the opportunity, or the silver lining. You can choose the mindset that allows you to act, persevere, and ultimately triumph. Choice creates change because it allows you to shift your focus, and where your focus goes, energy flows. Making conscious choices also means taking responsibility for your mental state. Too often, people blame their circumstances, other people, or even bad luck for their outcomes. But here is the reality. You are responsible for the thoughts you feed and the actions you take based on those thoughts. Choosing empowering thoughts means taking ownership of your life, refusing to be a victim, and refusing to allow external factors to dictate your happiness and success. This is not a call for perfection. It is a call for mastery. You will have negative thoughts. They are natural. But mastery lies in choosing which ones to act upon and which ones to release. Choice is a practice. It does not happen overnight, and it requires constant attention. It is like training a muscle. At first, your mind may resist. Old patterns of thinking, automatic reactions, and ingrained habits will try to pull you back into autopilot. But each time you consciously choose thoughts that empower you, you are rewiring your brain, strengthening your ability to respond deliberately rather than react impulsively. Over time, making empowering choices becomes second nature, and you begin to operate from a place of strength, clarity, and focus. One of the most powerful aspects of choice is its compounding effect. Small, intentional choices made consistently have the power to produce extraordinary results. Choosing to focus on solutions rather than problems, to see opportunity instead of limitation, to believe in yourself instead of succumbing to doubt, these choices may seem minor in the moment, but over days, weeks, and months they accumulate. The person you are today is the sum of the choices you have made in the past, and the person you will become is determined by the choices you make right now. Choice creates change because it turns small decisions into massive momentum over time. Choice also extends to the way you respond to adversity. Life is unpredictable and challenges are inevitable. You cannot always control what happens to you, but you can always control how you respond. In the face of difficulty, you have the choice to succumb to fear, frustration, or despair, or you can choose to rise above, to seek solutions, and to focus on what you can control. Those who thrive in life are not those who avoid challenges. They are those who recognize the power of choice and use it to navigate even the toughest situations with resilience and determination. Every moment of adversity presents an opportunity to choose thoughts that empower rather than limit. Choice is also about deciding who and what you allow to influence your mind. The people you surround yourself with, the media you consume, and the environments you inhabit all shape your thought patterns. You have the power to choose influences that uplift, inspire, and motivate you rather than those that drain your energy or reinforce limiting beliefs. By consciously choosing your environment and your influences, you reinforce the thought patterns that serve your highest potential. Choice is the act of taking control not only of your internal world, but also of the external factors that shape it. A crucial element of choice is self-talk. The words you speak to yourself, even silently, shape your reality. When you face challenges and think, I can't do this, you are choosing a thought that disempowers you. When you instead choose to say, I will figure this out, you activate your mind to search for solutions and possibilities. Every day you make thousands of choices about how to interpret events, respond to challenges, and direct your energy. Awareness of this process allows you to choose deliberately, creating outcomes aligned with your goals rather than letting your subconscious dictate your actions. Choice is deeply connected to personal responsibility. When you choose empowering thoughts, you reclaim control over your life. You no longer wait for circumstances to improve or for someone else to validate your worth. You understand that your destiny is shaped by the choices you make moment by moment, thought by thought. This realization is liberating because it removes the illusion of external control and replaces it with the undeniable truth that you hold the power to shape your own reality. Every action, every decision, every thought is an opportunity to exercise that power. The power of choice extends beyond individual outcomes. It transforms your mindset, your relationships, and your ability to impact the world. By choosing thoughts that empower, you cultivate confidence, resilience, and clarity. You begin to act from a place of intentionality rather than reaction. You influence others through your energy, your mindset, and the example you set. Choice is the mechanism through which ordinary people achieve extraordinary results. It is the foundation of self-mastery, personal growth, and achievement in every area of life. Finally, embracing the power of choice requires courage. It requires you to challenge old beliefs, confront fear, and make deliberate decisions even when it is uncomfortable. It is not always easy to choose empowering thoughts, especially when negative patterns feel familiar or safe. But every time you do, you strengthen your ability to direct your mind, create momentum, and transform your life. Choice creates change because it is the conscious decision to take control, to rise above limitation, and to actively shape the future you desire. Visualization is one of the most powerful tools you possess, yet so few people use it to its full potential. It is the practice of seeing the life you want with such clarity, intensity, and detail that your mind begins to accept it as possible, inevitable, and within reach. Your brain does not distinguish between what is real and what is vividly imagined. When you visualize a goal, an outcome, or a new version of yourself, your mind responds as if it is already happening, aligning your energy, focus, and actions with that vision. In essence, visualization is the bridge between the present moment and the future you are determined to create. It is the tool that allows you to move beyond the limitations of your current reality and step into the life you know you are capable of achieving. The human brain is incredibly responsive to images and mental movies. When you vividly picture a scene, your mind activates the same neural pathways as if you were actually experiencing it in real life. This means that by visualizing success, confidence, and achievement, you are training your brain to behave as if those outcomes are real. The more real and detailed your mental imagery, the stronger the signal you send to your subconscious mind. Your thoughts, beliefs, and actions begin to align with the vision you hold. Visualization is not daydreaming, it is purposeful, disciplined, and intentional mental rehearsal of your desired outcomes. To use visualization effectively, you must create a mental image that is specific, detailed, and emotionally charged. A vague idea of success is not enough. You must see it, feel it, hear it, and even smell it in your mind. Imagine yourself standing in the moment of achievement, the way your surroundings look, the expressions on people's faces, the sense of pride, the emotions coursing through you. Engage all your senses. The brain responds to detailed sensory input because it believes that the experience is real. The more vivid and emotionally charged your visualization, the stronger the imprint on your subconscious, and the more your actions will follow in alignment with that vision. Visualization is not limited to external goals such as wealth, career success, or recognition. It is equally powerful when applied to personal growth, mindset, and internal transformation. You can visualize confidence in social situations, resilience in the face of setbacks, and clarity in decision-making. Your mind cannot tell the difference between practicing a skill mentally and practicing it physically. By mentally rehearsing the behaviors, attitudes, and mindsets you wish to embody, you create a blueprint for your reality. Visualization shapes your identity, which in turn shapes your actions, which in turn shapes your results. The process of visualization is deeply connected to belief. When you consistently visualize a positive outcome, your brain begins to accept it as inevitable. You start to act in ways that are consistent with that belief, creating momentum that moves you toward the life you desire. Visualization removes doubt by creating a mental proof of what is possible. It allows you to experience success internally before it manifests externally. The more you immerse yourself in this mental rehearsal, the more natural and confident you become in pursuing your goals. A critical component of visualization is repetition. Just like physical training strengthens muscles, repeated mental practice strengthens neural pathways. Visualizing once may spark motivation, but consistent, daily practice embeds the image into your subconscious mind, making it automatic. Over time, your mind starts to guide your choices, behaviors, and focus toward outcomes that support that vision. Visualization is the rehearsal of your future. The more you rehearse it mentally, the more likely it is to appear in your reality. It is a form of mental preparation that precedes action, allowing you to move through challenges with clarity, confidence, and purpose. Visualization is also a tool for overcoming obstacles. When faced with fear, doubt, or uncertainty, you can use mental imagery to see yourself succeeding despite challenges. Imagine yourself navigating the difficulty with grace, creativity, and resilience. Picture the solution, the breakthrough, and the victory. By repeatedly visualizing triumph over adversity, you train your mind to focus on possibility rather than limitation. This mental rehearsal equips you with the mindset and emotional resilience needed to take action even when the path is unclear or difficult. Emotions play a critical role in effective visualization. Your brain responds not just to images, but to the feelings those images evoke. To maximize the power of visualization, immerse yourself in the emotional experience of success. Feel the excitement, the confidence, the pride, and the joy as if it is happening right now. Emotions act as fuel for the subconscious mind. They make the experience real, compelling, and persuasive. When your visualization is emotionally charged, it creates a magnetic pull that aligns your actions, decisions, and energy with your desired outcome. Visualization is also a proactive tool for personal development. You can use it to mentally practice new skills, rehearse presentations, prepare for important conversations, or train for athletic performance. Elite performers, whether in sports, business, or the arts, understand that mental rehearsal is as important as physical practice. By visualizing success, you create a mental template that guides your actions, improves performance, and accelerates growth. Visualization allows you to experience mastery in your mind before it manifests in the world, giving you a competitive edge and a sense of confidence that comes from preparation and focus. One of the most powerful aspects of visualization is that it fosters creativity and innovation. When you visualize outcomes without limitation, your mind starts to explore new possibilities, solutions, and approaches. You begin to see opportunities that were previously hidden, to connect ideas in novel ways, and to act in alignment with your vision. Visualization is not passive. It is an active process of mental exploration, problem solving, and strategic planning. By envisioning the life you want, you create a roadmap for achieving it, and your subconscious mind works tirelessly to bring that vision into reality. Visualization also strengthens belief in yourself and your abilities. When you consistently see yourself succeeding, your brain starts to trust that success is possible. Doubt diminishes, confidence grows, and self-limiting beliefs are replaced with empowering convictions. The act of seeing yourself achieve, overcome, and thrive rewires your mind to expect positive outcomes. Visualization is a form of mental conditioning that rewires your expectations, builds confidence, and aligns your internal narrative with the results you desire. Finally, visualization must be coupled with action to be truly effective. Mental imagery prepares your mind, ignites motivation, and aligns your energy, but it is your actions that bring the vision into the physical world. Visualization sharpens your focus, enhances decision-making, and strengthens your resilience, making your actions more intentional, precise, and impactful. It creates a feedback loop. Your mental rehearsal informs your behavior produces results, and those results reinforce your belief and further fuel your visualization practice. Visualization shapes reality because it is the conscious act of creating a mental blueprint of what is possible, compelling your mind to act in alignment with that vision, and cultivating the belief, focus, and emotional energy needed to achieve it. It is not magic, it is neuroscience, psychology, and the deliberate use of the mind's natural power to influence perception, behavior, and results. Those who master visualization are able to turn dreams into tangible outcomes, limitations into opportunities, and potential into performance. The words you speak and the focus you choose to give your attention are far more powerful than most people realize. They are not just a reflection of your mind, they are the drivers of your emotional state, the architects of your perception, and the fuel that shapes your actions. The language you use, both outwardly and inwardly, creates the emotional landscape in which you live. And your focus, the things you consistently pay attention to, determines where your energy flows and what you ultimately attract into your life. Understanding this dynamic is a game changer because it gives you control over your emotions, your mindset, and ultimately your destiny. Every single day, you are telling a story to yourself about who you are, what is possible, and what life has in store for you. That story can either empower you or limit you. If your language is filled with doubt, criticism, and negativity, it will naturally generate fear, anxiety, and hopelessness. Your thoughts become the words you speak, and those words create emotions that drive behavior. On the other hand, if your language is deliberate, positive, and focused on solutions and possibilities, it generates confidence, excitement, and resilience. Language is the software of the mind. What you say to yourself is programming, and it either strengthens your ability to succeed or sabotages it. The first step in mastering this principle is becoming aware of your self-talk. Pay attention to the inner dialogue that constantly runs in your head. What are the recurring statements you tell yourself? Do they lift you up or tear you down? Most people are completely unaware of this ongoing narrative. They react to life based on automatic scripts they didn't even write. Becoming conscious of your language is the first step to rewriting it. Awareness allows you to identify patterns of limitation, defeat, and fear, and gives you the opportunity to replace them with language that empowers and energizes you. Language does not just describe your reality, it shapes it. The words you choose create meaning. When you say, "I can't do this," you are programming your mind to find reasons why it is impossible. When you say, "I will figure this out," you activate problem solving, creativity, and perseverance. Every phrase you repeat to yourself either creates limitation or possibility. Changing your language changes your emotional response, which changes your behavior, which changes your results. The moment you realize this, you gain a powerful lever to influence every area of your life. Focus is equally important. Where you place your attention determines what grows in your mind and in your life. Your brain is like a garden. Whatever you water, whatever you shine your light on, will grow. If you constantly focus on fear, mistakes, and what's going wrong, those thoughts will dominate your mind, generating stress, anxiety, and helplessness. But when you focus on solutions, opportunities, and what is going right, you cultivate confidence, clarity, and motivation. Your focus acts as a magnifying glass for your thoughts. It intensifies the things you choose to pay attention to. And through that lens, your emotions and actions are shaped. The combination of language and focus is the key to emotional mastery. Your words describe your inner world, and your focus directs your energy. If both are aligned toward limitation, you will feel trapped and powerless. If both are aligned toward empowerment, possibility, and growth, you become unstoppable. This is why it is essential to intentionally monitor and shape your language and focus every day. It is not enough to hope for better thoughts or feelings. You must deliberately choose what you say to yourself and where you place your attention. One of the most effective ways to harness the power of language is through affirmations. Affirmations are statements that reflect the reality you wish to create. When used consistently, they retrain your mind to expect positive outcomes and to see yourself as capable, worthy, and resourceful. But affirmations must be meaningful, specific, and emotionally charged. Repeating words without feeling or belief has little impact. When your language resonates with your emotions, it begins to rewire your brain, influencing both your internal state and your external actions. The words you speak to yourself daily either build the life you want or reinforce the life you do not want. Focus is reinforced through attention management. Every distraction, every worry, and every thought you indulge in shapes your emotional state. To master your emotions, you must master where your attention goes. Train yourself to notice when your focus drifts toward negativity, blame, or fear, and deliberately redirect it toward possibilities, solutions, and positive actions. Your energy flows where your focus goes, so choosing your focus is equivalent to choosing your emotional state and your outcomes. Mastery over focus allows you to respond to challenges with clarity and composure, rather than reacting impulsively to circumstance. Language also shapes how you interpret events. Two people can experience the same situation but feel completely different emotions based on the words they use to describe it. One person sees a setback as failure, loss, or injustice. Another sees it as a lesson, opportunity, or temporary challenge. The words we use act like a filter, coloring every experience and shaping every emotion. By consciously choosing empowering language, you can reinterpret challenges in ways that generate strength rather than weakness, courage rather than fear, and hope rather than despair. Focus and language together also determine your long-term emotional patterns. If you repeatedly dwell on negative experiences and reinforce them with self-critical or fearful language, you train your mind to respond automatically with stress, anxiety, and limitation. Conversely, if you consistently focus on progress, solutions, and possibility, and pair that focus with positive, empowering language, you train your mind to respond with confidence, resilience, and clarity. Your emotional state becomes a reflection of your chosen words and attention. This is why high performers, leaders, and resilient individuals are meticulous about both what they think and what they say. Emotion drives action. The emotions you experience are what compel you to move forward or hold back. By shaping your language and focus, you are shaping the emotional engine that propels you through life. This is why emotional mastery is not about suppressing feelings. It is about directing them. When your words and focus are intentionally aligned, your emotions naturally follow, giving you the energy, motivation, and drive needed to take decisive action toward your goals. Language and focus are the levers you pull to ignite your inner fire. Practical strategies for harnessing this power include daily reflection on your self-talk, journaling your thoughts and emotions, and practicing deliberate focus exercises. Notice the words that dominate your mental dialogue. Ask yourself if those words are serving you or limiting you. Practice redirecting your attention to what is positive, actionable, and empowering. Over time, this conscious practice becomes a habit, and your default state shifts from reactivity and doubt to clarity, confidence, and possibility. Finally, the impact of mastering language and focus extends far beyond your own life. The way you speak and the attention you give to others shapes your interactions, your relationships, and your influence. When your language is empowering and your focus is positive, you inspire others, create trust, and attract opportunities. You become a source of energy, motivation, and transformation because people respond not just to what you do, but to the emotional tone you bring into every interaction. Mastery of language and focus is mastery over your emotions, your actions, and the ripple effects you create in the world around you. Mastering your mind is the ultimate act of personal power. Every achievement, every failure, every emotion, and every decision originates in your mind. Your mind is the control center of your life, the source of your reality, and the driver of your destiny. Yet most people live as if they have no control over it. They let thoughts, emotions, and circumstances dictate how they feel, what they do, and ultimately the life they lead. Mastering your mind is not about suppressing thoughts or denying emotions. It is about taking conscious control over the mental and emotional processes that shape your behavior, your choices, and your outcomes. It is the foundation for creating a life of purpose, power, and fulfillment. To master your mind, you must first understand the incredible influence it has over your life. Every belief you hold, every thought you entertain, and every mental image you focus on produces chemical reactions, emotions, and behaviors. These in turn shape your reality. Your mind is not a passive observer. It is an active participant in the creation of your life. If your mind is cluttered with doubt, fear, or negativity, your actions will reflect those limitations. If your mind is focused, disciplined, and empowered, your actions will align with your highest potential. Mastery begins with understanding this relationship and committing to take control of it deliberately. The first step in mastering your mind is awareness. You cannot control what you do not notice. You must become conscious of your thoughts, recognize recurring patterns, and observe the mental scripts that govern your behavior. Many people go through life unaware that they are operating on autopilot, repeating patterns of thought that keep them stuck in cycles of limitation. By cultivating awareness, you create a space between stimulus and response, allowing you to choose how to think, feel, and act. Awareness is the foundation of mastery because it transforms you from a passive participant in life to an active creator of your reality. Once you are aware of your thoughts, the next step is to take responsibility for them. Your mind is like a garden. The thoughts you water will grow. You have a choice about what to nurture and what to discard. Negative self-limiting thoughts are weeds. They drain your energy, restrict your potential, and shape a life of limitation. Empowering thoughts are seeds. They produce growth, action, and results. Mastering your mind means taking ownership of your mental garden, deliberately planting seeds of possibility, confidence, and resilience, and removing the weeds that threaten to overtake it. Responsibility is liberation because it places the power squarely in your hands. Mastery also involves discipline. Just as you would train your body through consistent exercise, you must train your mind. This requires daily practice, repetition, and commitment. Disciplined mental practices such as meditation, visualization, journaling, and conscious self-talk strengthen your ability to focus, redirect negative thoughts, and maintain clarity under pressure. Discipline transforms fleeting motivation into lasting power. It is the consistent effort to control your mental state that separates those who dream from those who achieve. Mastery is not a one-time accomplishment. It is a daily practice of choosing your thoughts, managing your emotions, and directing your energy toward what matters most. Emotion regulation is a critical aspect of mastering your mind. Emotions are not random. They are the result of your dominant thoughts. If you feel fear, anxiety, or frustration, it is because your thoughts are feeding those emotions. By mastering your mind, you gain the ability to influence your emotions, to create feelings of confidence, calm, and determination even in challenging circumstances. Emotional mastery allows you to respond to life's difficulties with composure rather than react impulsively. It enables you to maintain clarity, focus, and resilience, turning obstacles into opportunities for growth. Another key to mastering your mind is the deliberate shaping of beliefs. Beliefs are the mental frameworks that govern how you perceive reality. Limiting beliefs, such as "I'm not good enough" or "I can't achieve this," restrict your potential. Empowering beliefs, such as "I am capable and I can learn and grow," expand it. To master your mind, you must identify, challenge, and replace limiting beliefs with ones that support your goals and vision. Beliefs are not fixed. They are patterns of thought that can be reprogrammed through consistent attention, reflection, and mental rehearsal. The mind is malleable, and mastery means consciously shaping it to serve your highest purpose. Focus is another cornerstone of mental mastery. Where your attention goes, your energy flows. The ability to focus on what is important rather than being distracted by fear, doubt, or trivial concerns determines your effectiveness and results. Mastery involves cultivating an unwavering focus on your goals, consistently directing your mental energy toward actions that matter, and ignoring the noise that can derail your progress. Focus allows you to harness the full power of your mind, ensuring that your thoughts, emotions, and actions are aligned with your vision of success. Language and self-talk play a crucial role in mental mastery. The words you use with yourself shape your perception, influence your emotions, and guide your behavior. Negative language reinforces limitation, while positive, empowering language generates confidence, motivation, and clarity. Mastering your mind means consciously monitoring your self-talk, replacing disempowering statements with ones that inspire action, and aligning your internal dialogue with the outcomes you desire. Language is the tool through which you communicate with your subconscious, shaping both your identity and your reality. Visualization is a powerful technique for mastering the mind. By vividly imagining desired outcomes, you train your brain to recognize possibilities and develop the mental pathways that support success. Visualization creates clarity, strengthens belief, and aligns your emotions and actions with your goals. The act of seeing yourself succeed mentally before it happens physically programs your mind for achievement. Mastery of the mind requires the integration of visualization as a tool to bridge imagination and action, enabling you to move confidently toward your desired reality. Mental mastery also involves resilience, the ability to recover and learn from setbacks. Life is unpredictable, and challenges are inevitable. The mind that is mastered does not crumble under pressure. It adapts, learns, and grows stronger through adversity. By controlling your thoughts, interpreting setbacks as opportunities, and maintaining focus on your goals, you cultivate resilience. Resilience is a product of mental mastery because it is rooted in the conscious choice to respond to difficulty with strength and determination rather than despair and fear. Mastering your mind requires consistent practice in every moment of daily life. It is reflected in the choices you make, the focus you maintain, the words you speak, and the beliefs you reinforce. Every thought is an opportunity to exercise control. Every emotional response is a chance to strengthen resilience. Every challenge is an opportunity to align your mind, emotions, and actions with the life you desire. Through awareness, responsibility, discipline, focus, belief shaping, emotional regulation, and deliberate language, you gain the power to direct your life rather than be directed by it. Finally, the impact of mastering your mind extends far beyond personal achievement. When your mind is mastered, your relationships improve, your decisions become wiser, your influence grows, and your ability to inspire others multiplies. Mastery of the mind allows you to become a source of energy, guidance, and transformation, not only in your own life, but in the lives of those around you. The mind is the foundation of every success, and by mastering it, you unlock the potential to master every aspect of your existence.